You are not moving faster than God. You are not moving faster than God. Think about this. How can you move faster than the entity that created all the things that you're moving around, moving with, moving through? How is it that you can move faster than that? Man, I listened to this clip right here, and I'm gonna play it in just a second, in which this guy talks about how people always use the term waiting on God. And it was fascinating because it's so true. We tend to use this terminology of waiting on God. And if we're really, really honest about it, waiting on God for most people just means I don't want to take action right now. Waiting on God for most people is really us saying, I'm not ready to take action right now. I need God to show me one more sign. I need one more indicator to come in. I need one more thing to take place. And then I'll know that this is the one and I need to take action. But for most of us, waiting on God is really not us waiting on God. It's us waiting on a perfect moment for things to be perfect, for us to be comfortable to take the action that we know we need to take. Listen to this clip and then we'll talk a little bit more about it. But this will convict you if you're a person of faith.
The only time in the Bible it says to wait on God is when people are trying to go backwards. But we tend to use it like wait on God, like we're so fast or moving faster than God. God's never trying to catch up with you. So like wait on God doesn't mean you're going too fast. Wait on God means you're going in the wrong direction. So if you're being driven by fear, you need to wait on God because he wants to give you the courage to move forward. But if you're moving by faith, God, I'm convinced, loves proactivity. And I would love to see people of faith actually have more proactivity, not less. The only time in the Bible it says to wait on God is when...
Listen to that, man. If you're moving in the wrong direction, stop. Right? Real talk. If someone gives you directions and they tell you to go right, but you start going left, you probably just need to stop because the more you go left, you're in the wrong direction. That's not an indication of someone needing to wait. That's an indication of someone getting the wrong instruction or someone not being obedient to the instructions that were given. Waiting on God is waiting on God to tell you to do something, waiting on the Holy Spirit to convict you to do something. But the moment that you get that inspiration, the moment that you are convicted to do something, you no longer need to wait. At that moment, you need to bust a move. And the reality is, a lot of times we slow walk things because if we're honest, we're fearful. We're scared that we might not be making the wrong decision. But the reality is, if you're not making the right decision, you will know. And once you realize you're making the wrong decision, stop, just like the directions say, when you're going in the wrong direction, stop, turn around and go in the right direction. Like, we got to stop BSing, man. Like we really are doing such a horrible job of being proactive once we know what we need to do. Because when we're honest, most of us know the step that we need to take. We might not know all the steps in the sequence, but we know that, hey, my next step is this. Am I obedient enough to take it? That's it. Because as you take one step, then you'll get information on the next step. And then once you take that step, you'll get information on the step after that. And it just continues. The thing that's so interesting is that, God rarely gives us just a laid out 50-year plan for the next 50 years of our life. And my thought process behind that is if God were to give me a 50-year plan just laid out with all the steps that I need to take in sequence, I would stare at the plan, I would focus on executing the plan, and I would never look up and spend time with God. That's real. And I know that there are probably millions, might even be billions of people out there exactly the same. That's why we're not given just a blueprint with all the steps we need to take to copy, paste, and go, because then we would have no need to rely on the Holy Spirit to give us instructions as we go along. We got to renew our minds daily. We got to continuously tap in on a regular basis, or else we might get off track. Right? Then we do find ourselves moving in the wrong direction. Then we do find ourselves, taking improper steps, being inspired by the wrong things, not being in alignment with what we're called to do in this specific moment. And so when you think about like alignment and purpose, some people think about purpose as like your lifelong mission. There are some levels of purpose that are lifelong, meaning this is what you're going to do in some way, shape, or form for the rest of your life. But at other times, or in other instances, purpose might be for right now. My purpose in this specific season is X, and I'm supposed to do that. I got to have the courage and the confidence to bust a move doing that. I don't have to wait on God for that. If God has already given me the instruction, if God has already pricked my spirit on what I need to do, I got to have the balls, the testicular fortitude to bust a move and do so with confidence, with courage, because you're being fueled by the creator of everything. But we bullshit sometimes. Let's keep it real. We bullshit sometimes. We don't step with that level of confidence. And that's something that we need to turn around. We're not always waiting on God. We're using God as a doggone excuse. God had already told you what to do. It's like when people, think about, I need to eat better. Every last person that says, I need to eat better, can look down at their plate and identify what they should and should not eat. Oh, yeah, that's real talk. Everybody who wants to eat better can look down at their plate and they know what they should and should not be eating. The question is, do they have the level of obedience to not eat the stuff they shouldn't eat and to eat more of the stuff that they should eat? Yeah. See, that's no need to wait on God. God's giving you all the insight, the perspective, the experiences to know that eat more of this, eat less of that, more of that, less of that. Stop. One plate's enough. We don't need to go to plate 2, 3, 4, or 5. We don't need to wait on God for instruction. No, God is giving you what you need. The question is, are you willing to bust a move? Because maybe there's this other part to that where if you're unwilling to bust a move on the small stuff, why is he going to give you anything bigger? Why is your blessing going to be big if you won't take advantage of the small blessing? Like, and again, I'm talking to everyone out there, but the reality is I'm also talking to myself. These are things that I rewatch myself for real, because we all have moments in which we're challenged, right? And we got to be reminded to break that pattern, snap out of it, and get to it. That's real. That's real. And as it pertains to really becoming the quarterback of your mindset, that's really part of the mission of this particular channel, is to inspire you and help you and to encourage you to become the quarterback of your mindset, to take control of your mindset, to understand that that's the start to you really walking this thing out on the level that you're supposed to. You must control your mindset. You must make up in your mind. You must develop the will to go and do the thing that you're supposed to do. And you must listen to the Holy Spirit, and you must allow that thing to convict you. But once you're convicted to do something, don't ask no questions. Bust a move. You don't need to wait on God. God don't need to catch up with you. You actually need to catch up with him. And as fast as you want to go, oh, he's running right there next to you. Remember that. Never forget that. Never forget that. Stay in alignment with him, trust him, and have some fun in the process. All right. Well, hey, as always, y'all make sure to, if you've not already subscribed to this channel, leave some comments, share this thing out. And until next time, y'all be blessed, well, and wise, and go be the quarterback of your mindset. I'll holler at you. Peace.